Welcome to Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, meme review, software releases, and the websites by plebes or plebs. Drop us a like, subscribe. We're going to the numbers. Let's do this. At the time of this recording, the block height is 681,287. The Bitcoin price, 57,380. Chain rewrite days, 688. Total lightning capacity, 1,228.65. Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 9.26%. And the sats per dollar, a nice slide, 1,743.
Man, so this is what it must feel, covering stocks, right? Because we had a little bit of a jump, I guess. We're back at 57. That was nice. Dude, I think it was like a 6% jump. So it wasn't like a small jump. It was a small jump relative to Bitcoin.
I mean, yeah, it was kind of a nothing move, right? But at the same time, it's just at these levels for the people that were here in 2017 and remember being at 20K, we did not see this type of action at the highs, okay, for very long. So this is kind of, this is a uncharted territory, right? In terms of the amount of action that's taking place at these prices.
Yep.
We're seeing a lot of support. We're also seeing some resistance. So there's a lot of push and pull going on in Bitcoin.
Dude, it's crossed, right? But yeah, you're absolutely right, Phil. It's crazy to consolidate at these levels. Because that's kind of what we're doing right now, like just going sideways. So yeah, man. And you're right. 2017, I think we hit 20K. It was like a week, dude. It wasn't even that long. It was like crazy. So yeah.
Barely spent any time there. And then 16K, we were there for like a little bit, really not long. Yep.
Ultra bullish. Phil, it's time for
the daily fail. All right, everyone. The daily fail. Typical Ether. Ryan Sean Adams with his horrible takes. Bitcoin is for people who haven't discovered Ethereum. Oh my gosh, man. No. So look, a lot of us were shitcoiners. A lot of us got fooled by the tech narrative, the unit bias, the insert shitcoin is the next Bitcoin. A lot of us came from that. And then we did research and we realized that it was a scam and that it was nothing like Bitcoin. And then we remembered why we came here in the first place. Because we were looking for sound money to be able to store our value in. So then we went back to Bitcoin. It's a fucking playground. Okay? There's no like wisdom in this. There's no like philosophy where all of a sudden, this wellspring of amazing things comes from Ethereum. That's not what's happening. Okay? Like, look, nobody cares about wine bottles on the blockchain. Nobody cares about sticking your security ID on the blockchain. That's not how it's actually being used. All it is API calls to a database. SQL database. Or a MongoDB. But it's not Ethereum. It's just not needed for this. It doesn't need to be money for its use case. And this is what happens when you break them down. And then you come to the realization you've been had. And now it's time to start accumulating Bitcoin.
Man, but obviously that guy still hasn't, gone out of it. Or maybe
he has terrible takes, man.
No, he does have terrible takes. Awful. And I think it's because he really believes in the tech narrative and he doesn't understand that the world reserve currency can't go down because they're updating the network. or Vitalik said, remember we covered it yesterday, dude, on the Daily Fail. Vitalik said something and they changed the mining rules. It was stupid.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say. So that's it. They're not only that, but supposedly also they're going to be lowering the issuance or something like that, so they can compete with Bitcoin. It's like you realize the fact that they can just do that is what makes it so that one of the many reasons why they cannot compete with Bitcoin. The fact that you have one person that can call that and then everyone follows it, like, do you really want your value stored on that chain? I don't know. Seems like a scam.
And it looks like the public companies that have, ventured into cryptocurrency, for lack of a better name, have chosen the sounder money, and the ETH narrative dies there too. But it's just, man, it's fun because it just gives us more material.
Just garbage.
It is. Phil, it's time for it.
The daily meme review.
All right, everybody. The meme for today is brought to us by a plebe at Bitcoin_Ator. Definitely go follow him, check him out. But anyways, let's check out the meme. Yes, the truth is hard. What shitcoiners think will reach the reality. Dude, amazing meme. Amazing meme. And because it's an amazing meme, I'm going to give it an X-Wing made out of Legos and the wings pop up. Pew, pew. Anyways,
I'm
Phil,
done.
What are you going to give it?
All right, you know what? That was a great meme. I thought it was hilarious. And for that, I'm giving it a ESP32 board still in the packaging.
Oh, damn.
You can do some cool stuff with this. It's got built-in Wi-Fi.
Wow, damn. Okay. So the scores are spicing up as Phil and I are trying to outcompete each other.
As we're running out of tech to put in front of the camera. As we're running out of things to put in front of the camera, the scores are heating up.
I don't know what we're gonna do in 6 months, dude.
It's gonna honestly, we're gonna have to film this show outside or something like that. Be like, I give this thing my car.
I give it an elephant.
Exactly, just filming people on the street or something.
Oh my god, it's gonna be interesting.
This guy.
This is gonna be interesting to say the least, for sure.
See what happens.
Excellent meme. I loved it. Perfectly described
enjoyed.
It. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by
Crypto Cloaks.
All right, everybody. So the news for today. Okay, Phil, remember how we were talking about a couple days ago how about this dude just disappeared in Turkey and he took a bunch of money? Well, it looks like Turkey's trying to crack down. Let's check out the article. A Turkish court jailed pending trial 6 suspects late on Thursday as part of a probe into cryptocurrency trading platform Thodex. Remember, the chief or the CEO disappeared. It looks like he escaped to Albania. But they did send out an Interpol red notice, so it's kind of like an exit scam. It was the total. Right, he could have run off with $2 billion, and the company's portfolio totaled with $108 million. That's a lot of money. That's the type of money that people will do a lot of bad things for. Anyways, but check out the end of the article, which is very nefarious, Phil. A ban on the use of crypto assets for payments announced earlier this month goes into effect on Friday. We've told you guys that before, but this part's new. Turkey's central bank cited irreparable damage and transaction risk as the reasons for the ban, right? So the government doesn't like you making your own decisions when it comes to Bitcoin because it causes them irreparable damage. Anyways, Phil?
I just, that last line is just absolutely ridiculous, right? Irreparable damage. I mean, they're just so disingenuous, and it's so sad. I mean, of course, right? They're obviously incentivized to hate Bitcoin, but at the same time, you'd think these people are getting paid enough that they can come up with better reasons, at least make it sound plausible. Like, look, or just be honest and say, we want to control everything that you do. Bitcoin puts a stop to that, so we need you not to transact with this. I don't think they could do any worse with the truth than they are with their made up narratives. So, I mean, at least it would be honest, and people wouldn't feel like idiots, right? Like because that's really the way they make you feel. Like, they really think you're this stupid that you're just buying this. So, yeah,
man.
But yeah, going back to originally though, that guy, yeah. I mean, if they find him, anyways.
Dude, the scene from Scarface?
They might just find parts of him. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Me and you were thinking the same thing. Okay.
I was thinking of that scene from Scarface.
Watch what happens to your friend.
Man. Oh, dude.
Anyways.
Man. Where does he think he's going to go? It's like one thing. It's like he ran away with a couple $1 million. It's like, okay, you're still a target, but it's not that big. It is a big deal, but it's not that big a deal. But $108 million, bro, you have some pretty nasty people going after you.
And whose money is that, right? It's not even about the number. It's about whose money that is.
Oh man.
Well, anyways, that guy, rip.
Rip. I completely agree. And look, Take your Bitcoin off your exchange, not your keys, not your Bitcoin. But anyways, Phil, I'm going to steal your line because it perfectly applies to this. Bitcoin is the money of enemies. I love that line. Anyways,
it's not my line.
Okay, well, I got it from you, so. Okay, so check this out, Phil. Russian news outlet calls for crypto donations as Kremlin cracks down on media, right? Weird name. Medusa, one of Russia's leading independent news organizations, called for donations in fiat, Bitcoin, and BNB, so two shitcoins and Bitcoin, after Russian authorities labeled it a foreign agent. They called him an enemy of the state. I highlighted this for a reason. We've heard this before, and not coming out of Russia. We heard this type of rhetoric coming out of the United States, right? So it goes to show, right? Like when the government is cracking you down, when the government is saying it calls for your censor, I just love how everyone just defaults to Bitcoin. That's how powerful Bitcoin is, because they know that if they receive any donations in Bitcoin, the government's not going to touch that unless they get they get a hold of the private key. And that's why Alex Gladstein says that Bitcoin is the Trojan horse for freedom, right? Because it allows you to do that. It allows you to even though you're being, hunted by the government. In this case, it's for something unfair. I don't know exactly what Medusa's publishing, right? But it's just cool that they could still accept donations, even though they're considered an enemy of the state. I thought that was pretty neat. Anyways, Phil?
At some point, I think that, at some point we're all going to realize that the people doing the most nefarious things in our system are using our system to do them. Right? It's not these people that are transacting on Bitcoin that are to be feared and that are the problem. We are not the ones that inflated the money supply. We are not the ones causing the Cantillon effect, okay? Or Cantillon, or however you want to pronounce it. It's another one of these where people pronounce it differently. But, we are not the people that are doing this. We are the people that looked at that system and said, oh my gosh, I finally have a way not to get screwed because I really don't deserve it. I actually worked hard for this and I'd like to keep it without getting screwed. We're those people, okay? And once I think more people get onto that and they realize that, Bitcoin not only is just freedom, but Bitcoin really is the better money that is going to help us all out.
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
Phil. And Phil, we got some bullish news. It is Friday. Check this out. Kind of a big deal. Game publisher Nexon buys $100 million worth of Bitcoin. As the firm announced on Wednesday, it has bought $100 million worth of Bitcoin, which represents, not that much. It only represents 2%. But this part is the awesome part, Phil. This makes Nexon the first Japan-listed company to hold Bitcoin. But Phil, it's not done yet. A bank, specifically BNY Mellon Fund, laments it should have bought Bitcoin, not gold. Check this out. I'm going to read the quote. Fund performance was hurt as well by a decision not to own MicroStrategy, whose stock surged when it announced it had invested in Bitcoin, right? So, man, the first public company in Japan announces that, it's not that much, only 2%, but it's starting, right? It's getting the foot in the door, announces that it's holding some reserves in Bitcoin. And there you have it. A bank admitting that they regret buying gold. They regret buying gold and they should have bought Bitcoin. You could, dude, if I would have told you that, Phil, 5 years ago, you would have slapped me, even though you're Canadian, but it would have sounded so outlandish, you would have slapped me, right? So, dude, why is it that all the bullish news is coming all at once within a period of a month that it doesn't make it sound so bullish anymore, right? If we would have heard this news during the bear market, bro, this video would have exploded. Anyways, Phil.
It would have been huge. But, seeing that article just makes me think of one thing. Where's Peter Schiff these days? How come we're not getting any comments? Right? Bitcoin just had huge pullbacks, and now we had this run up. Where's the Schiff angle on this? And now that news, that BNY Mellon news, he saw that. You know that he saw that. You know that he's all bitter and salty about it. I just like, I think of his tweets and I laugh to myself because I know that some people think he does this for engagement. Okay. And I do believe that to a certain extent he does this for engagement, but let's be honest. Do you really think that like somebody is sitting there from the outside looking at these arguments between Peter Schiff and anon Bitcoiners and going, Peter's got some good points. I should be buying gold. I don't think that's what's happening. So I don't think that that's really working for him.
I love how he got wrecked when he did the poll of like, who's right, my son or me? And his son's like a Bitcoiner, like with the laser eyes, and then he's like whatever, and then like 80% voted for the son.
Fantastic.
Oh my god.
Look, come on. It's like, you see again that this is a great situation where, they got emotional, right? And they looked at gold and they like gold. So it's not just like now it's more personal, right? It's a much more personal thing. But if you take that away and you make it more objective and you really compare the two, Bitcoin wins hands down. It has better qualities, okay? And it has the ability to do what gold cannot do, okay? Which is being easily transported, and you can verify it because that was one of our problems with gold. So I mean, to me, it's just a no-brainer.
It is. It's a no-brainer, and that's what you're seeing.
Gotta wake up.
That's what you're seeing, right? You see Japan, right? You see, man, it's just a matter of time, bro, before a country
Easier for them to hold it.
Yep.
Why? Why not? Easier for them to hold it. We know for a fact there's only 21 million. We know for a fact, okay, that's huge. Right?
Unlike Ethereum.
Unlike Ethereum, right? Unlike Ethereum and unlike gold, because really gold, all we know is how much we mine approximately every year. We have some estimates as to what the amount of gold is in the earth, but really at the end of the day, it's a guesstimate or it's a very educated guess, but we don't actually know it 100%. We cannot verify it.
Yep. It's true, man. It's true. It's so unique that nothing has existed like this ever, right? So it's hard to compare it to anything. You're absolutely right, Phil.
It is. It's a whole new asset. You'll see, man. You'll see. This is like we are understanding it in such a rudimentary way.
Yep.
Bitcoin. I think in like 10 to 15 years, the not just the technology is going to evolve, but the way in which Bitcoin works in our lives.
Absolutely.
So.
I completely agree, and that's definitely where we're heading. Phil, the last piece of news for the segment. Check this out. Pretty cool. Kind of scary at first. Vulnerability disclosure affecting BTC Pay Server. On March 30th, we released BTC Pay Server 1.0.7.1. This version was a security release that patched one critical flaw, one critical, one medium, and several low-impact vulnerabilities in all BTC versions. So definitely, guys, update your BTC server if you're running a version older than 1.0.7.1. But the cool part in this, Phil, and the reason I wanted to cover it today, check this out. It was the Tesla security engineering team that disclosed the vulnerabilities. So that is so badass. You have a public company, the biggest car company in the world by market cap, essentially disclosing vulnerabilities to a Bitcoin project. Man, if this is just the beginning. It's what you said, Phil, earlier. Like, we can't even comprehend where we're going to be 10, 15 years from now. If you have a public company contributing back to Bitcoin, it makes Bitcoin 10 times more unstoppable than it already is, right? It makes it like a honey badger on steroids. Yeah. Phil?
Do you remember when we reported on Tesla buying into Bitcoin? There was also an article that we covered about Elon mentioning how they were working very closely with the Bitcoin project.
I do remember. That's what they did, dude. That's crazy.
That's exactly what they did. Like, I knew that so first of all, I knew that they were using BTC Pay Server because what the hell else are you going to use? Let's be honest, okay? You're not going to use that shit phony there. I totally forget what they're called. But they're the fake BTC Pay Server. They're like the angry centralized
the BitPay.
Huh?
It's so bad.
BitPay. Yeah. See, I don't even remember. Like, it totally didn't surprise me. So now that came out, that was really cool that that they disclosed it. I mean, why not? This is the whole point, right? What's that? What's that saying? Competition is natural to the ignorant, while cooperation is natural to the wise. Doesn't mean everybody's kumbaya. Okay, it's not what it fucking means. Okay, but it means that people can understand how to cooperate to reach a higher end that enables better things for everyone. And this is a good example of it.
Absolutely. Wise words, Phil. Very wise words.
They're not mine either. It's just stuff that I remember.
But it's still, it came from you. But man, super, super bullish. You have Tesla not only contributing, but helping call out vulnerabilities to BTC Pay Server. Uber bullish.
Yep.
But before I get carried away, Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. All right. It looks like we've got Coldcard version 4.1.0 that was released, and the link to that is down below in the show notes.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. You know what to do if you enjoyed the episode. Smash that like button. Yeah. Smash it. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the news from the Bitcoin perspective and the catastrophic fiat and shitcoin fails, definitely consider subscribing. And we'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.